still wondering who's going to be the person that can beat ZeRo.
No one.
He was like, actually,
Yeah.
myself.
Yeah.
And I'm not ready to lose.
Yeah, he drops it to Seagull Joe, and then he almost thinks about dropping out of the tournament, and then he's like, nah, and brings it back all the way to win. So yeah, Michigan has been very good to ZeRo, and now we're going to see if Ned is going to be able to defend against the Midwest greatest invader, ZeRo, who has won every tournament he's come to here.
And he has quite the task against him for several reasons. If you watch ZeRo fight a Cloud, what he did to Tweak, what he does to Cloud, he JV 3-stock Mewtwo King once in bracket. He knows this matchup like the back of his hand.
Yeah, that was back at Endgame, and that was when Mewtwo King was playing extremely well, too. So the big difference, I think a really big difference, though, between like a Mewtwo King Cloud and a Ned Cloud is that Mewtwo King likes to let his limit rip at all times to try and build damage and find early kills. Ned, on the other hand, will typically keep it a very, very long time because he enjoys the movement buffs that it gives him.
And right now, those movement buffs are definitely paying off. He was losing by quite a bit, but closed that gap. But he definitely did start closing that gap bit by bit. 72 to 55%, almost a minute into this match. And ZeRo almost got edge guarded, but was able to come back. And Ned, still holding on to that limit, just like you said, using those stats. Does get the back air the offstage. Ned does manage to recover. Does have to use limit, though, so that is still a win for ZeRo.
It is a win for ZeRo. With the beefy up beat, gets him back on safely, but so now he finds himself offstage once again, and that's ZeRo to a T. Like, you think you're safe, and all of a sudden now you're offstage again. Like, you just never seem to be able to find your feet against ZeRo, so that's why it's so important to control the game.
And I love that edge guard that ZeRo's going for. Doesn't quite work, dropping the banana.
And Ned tried to go to the platform because he knew that he was doomed otherwise. And ZeRo even had that scouted, so even if he would have made it back, you probably would have gotten down smash or forward smash.
Definitely. And ZeRo opting to always go for the F throw against Cloud specifically, wants to get him off stage and trap this character as many times as he can.
ZeRo's pressure is really good, and that's actually the exact move that we saw him use against Kameme, where he got the early spike, was that the monkey flip kick to down tilt to drop down or drop zone dare, and that's what took him down. And he almost got that again on Ned. Ned's got to be careful. He's got to start controlling this if he wants a chance.
And right now, he does have to use limit again in the 2-frame coming in from ZeRo. He has done that time and time again. Ned right now struggling so hard trying to fight his way back on. Does manage to do it a little bit later. That down tilt alleviates a bit of the pressure.
Now, we saw Ned in a similar situation where he was down a whole stock. I believe it was against Larry Lur at Midwest Mayhem Saga, and was able to bring it all the way back. And so when he gets down like this, he seems to either like get kind of bodied or he seems to turn it up. Hopefully he turns it up.
Yeah, I mean, turning it up against ZeRo, though, is a feat in and of itself. But at least one thing Ned does have going for him, that banana setup edge guard has not worked for ZeRo quite yet on him, and it works on several Clouds.
So yeah, even if he does indeed lose this game one, which it looks like he's about to, he knows that at least he's playing around one area of ZeRo's suffocating edge play.
Yeah. And I'd imagine Ned is familiar with the matchup. Zenodo is
JJ Rockets.
Very notable Diddy Kongs. But just, you can't get practice against ZeRo. That's just, you can't do it.
He's his own beast, and if you don't play with him regularly, and you don't maybe get him like off kilter a little bit, it's going to be difficult for him.
Now, with that said, that was only game one, and Ned, it was only 12%, but it was definitely a better start than he had last game.
Yeah, right.
And so small things like that end up mattering in the end. He already has the recovery down, so.
Yeah, the bad thing for Ned, though, is just unfortunately, it seems like no matter what he does, he cannot stay on the stage. And Cloud is most effective when he's able to kind of like move and groove back and forth around the stage, but at every opportunity, ZeRo is just going right into that edge play, which is widely regarded as the best in Smash. Yes,
there is no one else that edge guards and keeps someone in such a disadvantageous position than ZeRo.
Like, everyone that's ever played a friendly against this guy where he tries even a little bit, you get on the edge and you're like, what do I do? Like, this is a friendly. Why are you doing this to me? It feels almost unfair how good it is. It's almost as if he has some sort of like 2-second prediction powers. He just knows where you're going to be. Like, he read that roll on, pivot D tilt to up smash, and he's gone first stock within a minute.
Yeah, I wonder if he played a little bit to, I guess, Ned's emotions in that scenario. You saw Ned go for a double jump and try to grab the ledge to keep his limit, but he messed up, forced to use limit. And I guess ZeRo was kind of like, you're going to choose something a little more risky at this point because you're afraid. And he was right, and it definitely worked for him.
And that's, that you almost have to try some risky things to try and beat ZeRo, but that's a two stock.
Yeah, that down air was not risky. ZeRo's done that time and time again. Cloud's recovery, very susceptible to being spiked by Diddy Kong. Ned kind of shaking his head, not proud of that performance.
Ned is very susceptible to like mental struggles. He's a young kid. He just recently, I think, turned 17, and so it's interesting to see, or either he just turned 17 or he's about to turn 18. I don't remember which one, but anyway, he's young, and his mindset isn't all the way steeled yet. And against a player like ZeRo, that's very difficult for someone like Ned to come back from, because ZeRo never falters in the face of danger.
More importantly, he's a rookie. People forget that ZeRo has been competing in Brawl. He competed through the MLG Melee circuit. He competed obviously in Smash 4. He has so many years under his belt. He's a veteran, and a lot of these top players are. The newer players, it's significantly harder to build that mental fortitude that you need to just overcome a deficit.
Yeah, you're only going to get that through trials and tribulations. You're only going to get that through playing a lot.
And interesting that Ned opted to go to Duck Hunt. Most people do not like taking Diddy Kongs, let alone ZeRo, to this stage. But right now, it's definitely working out for him.
I mean, I know, some inside information from being within Ned's region is that he said that when in doubt, try some jank. And Duck Hunt, there's a reason Duck Hunt's not part of the new rule set. We are on the old one for this one, but a lot of people don't like what Duck Hunt brings to the game, so Ned might be just trying a Hail Mary pass right here.
Now, granted, he is down significantly closer than he was earlier, and the way he's playing right now does make you wonder, because it's the first time he actually started camping the tree to get his limit. What if ZeRo might not be able to go to Final Destination if he doesn't win right now? Because Ned is just playing so great right now and understanding
this
the
is
stage.
the best Ned play that we've seen so far in this set.
Good job of breaking out of the grab. A lot of people go for the pummels. You can break out and avoid that grab that happens at the end.
Oh, and unfortunately, he was unable to get his limit charge enough to live that. It does increase his falling speed a little bit, so it helps him live a little bit longer when he has limit. But was just naked Cloud right there, and unfortunately, he died and loses his stock first again for the third time in a row.
Ned is so applying a lot of pressure. ZeRo's actually the one stuck on the ledge with his side Bs to get out of that situation completely.
But Ned trapped in shield again, got rolled behind and grabbed, then thrown off the stage again. ZeRo just, again, keeping up this pressure game. All he wants is stage control. Like, if we would have, like, a timer for time of possession, it's 100% in Diddy Kong's favor. Like maybe 14, 15 seconds it's been a Ned the entire match, but otherwise it's been ZeRo in the middle of the stage, Ned coming into him.
And such a tricky setup right there by TSM. ZeRo wall-cling, banana throws, insta-tosses, just smart all around.
Oh, but that up air, finally Ned takes the stock.
It took him 2 games and almost 3 minutes, but he did get it done. And Cloud, very explosive, has the tools, is capable of possibly getting rid of ZeRo stock. And that's how it starts, an up tilt and up air, things of that nature. And, if he can get him off stage, he can get an edge guard.
Yeah, like that's one thing that Cloud can do is that, if his sword does so much damage with his aerials, and Ned is typically good at placing those aerials in a pretty safe manner. If he can get limit, he can get ZeRo at a relatively high percent. We could see, as Ned famously said, that Cloud can do some silly things.
Definitely true, but he is going to have to recover first. And ZeRo holding it a little bit too long. This is when it's getting scary.
Ned's got the read on him now. He's starting to move.
Right, feeling himself, you can see the confidence just, growing with Ned every moment and every hit that he connects with.
Oh, but unfortunately, the hoo-ha will take him out. And Ned, the thing that Ned needs to take away from this is that he started to get a read on ZeRo. It was a little bit too late in the game, but he was making the comeback. If he maybe would have had, you started that at the beginning of the game as opposed to midway through, we might be looking at a game 4, but right there, that's a 3-0 from ZeRo.
Yeah, and, ZeRo, obviously he did take it, but he had to think for a second. Maybe something might change. Yes, he had to work, First stock was relatively even with Ned, and then Ned started making a little comeback.
That's what you hope to do against ZeRo, is make him work a little bit. Like, if you can make him work a little bit, get him off his game plan, then you have a chance. But if you never shake ZeRo from his focused game plan, you do not have a chance. You have to do something to rattle his foundation.
I would have liked to see Ned possibly explore the option of throwing ZeRo off stage.